And then Ronaldo! Balotelli, Aguero! It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. Here's Messi. Away from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
The Football Drop Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Football Drop Podcast.
Welcome.
Now.
Here we go.
Yeah, yes, here we go. yes. Would you like to explain to our lovely listeners Wagwan?
England are through to the semi-final. Very excited. That's what I'm assuming you're talking about, right?
No, you know that's not what
No?
I'm talking about. This doesn't
Oh,
often happen.
what's going on?
This doesn't often happen to me, so I need you to be really specific with what is happening with you right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Will.
So the IT expert, the guy who says thinks apps in a way that he is God's gift to IT. He basically thinks
Mate,
he's
I've
the
never
Brad
said
Pitt,
that. I've never said
the
that.
Brad Pitt to women of IT. That is who you think you are. And I've had some IT issues
What?
here, and you have absolutely slaughtered me. So this is payback. You cannot get anything to work. I'm talking to you through a WhatsApp call. And
We are.
talking to me because you can't hear me, and I can see in your face that you're so upset with this.
Mate, I'm so fucking jarred off. It's ridiculous. The problem is, right, and I don't understand, and I'm sure everyone that's listening will have the same sort of issue, is you can have everything working, no problem. For a year, I've not had any issues with any of our podcast issues, like IT issues. I've genuinely, touch wood, I've actually been okay. But all of a sudden, today, bear in mind, I've been on the computer at some point today. I've changed no settings whatsoever. I can see all the bars on our recording system going up and down. So it says, yep, you're talking, no problem. I cannot hear you through my headphones. And I have no idea why, but it's not picking you up on our recording app either. So I don't understand why. But I'm genuinely quite a logical person. That's how my brain thinks. Logically, everything is working. Yet somehow it's not working.
No, and it's absolutely fantastic news for me. And I'm just really happy. You know, I can go. Oh,
Good.
We've been on the call for so long. We just bloody started. Yeah, oh, it's just terrible. Isn't it? Like we're an IT, the IT expert. Yeah, that's what I get. So that's what I'm throwing back at you now. You wanker.
Do you know what? I'm glad we're on a WhatsApp call because you kept breaking up, so I didn't really hear that. So I'm assuming it was all very complimentary about me, which is natural.
Yeah, but the annoying thing is I can't turn you off loudspeaker on my phone. So every time you talk, I have to like mute my microphone so that you don't come through to us. So yeah, this is going to be a short and sweet episode. I can already tell.
Well, I'll be honest. So this is going to be our first of 2 Euro episodes in the build-up to the England semi-final. We've got a special guest that's going to join us on Tuesday, and we'll release that first thing Wednesday morning.
Wow, I love how you've given me literally a day's notice that I'm doing that. Okay,
yeah.
Well, we've committed now. So cheers, mate.
It might not be on YouTube, but it'll be on audio for sure, 100%. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on Apple Music for you guys. YouTube, yeah, it takes a little bit longer to process, so I'm not going to chuck that on Will. But I'm so excited to get this guest on. So we don't have to worry about too much about going into loads of detail today, which is probably good because of my technical issues. So it kind of all works out well.
So you don't want to go into who, what, where, when, why? You just want to leave it?
No. You can wait until Wednesday morning when it comes out. So I know the listeners are like, fuck it, I'm not going to turn off then. I'm not going to listen to today's one. Have we been? Yeah, we've been talking for more than a minute, so that's fine. We'll get the play. It all counts.
Yeah. There's to be honest, mate. Like without going into any detail at all, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening with FDP as it stands. We are in like a bit of a transition period. We've got some really, really big guests coming up, and it's probably the most exciting time to be an FDP person, supporter, us, anything.
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree completely there. And it's very exciting that England, as I said, did actually make it through to the semis as well.
So let's go from there and make life easier for me. Can you give me your thoughts on the game from last night? So we should say we're filming this Sunday evening. So it's Saturday evening was obviously the England
Saturday
game.
night game.
So go.
Okay, so I'm not sure whether I'm in a minority here because I thought we played pretty shit for a lot of the game. I don't think it was a good performance. I think it was better than what we have done, but I still don't think it was that good. I think we showed glimpses and had good moments, which was, I guess, a little bit more encouraging. But I still don't think we played particularly great. I don't think Switzerland were as great as they have been throughout the tournament either. And I think credit, has to go to us to a certain extent for that. But a lot of people seem to be like absolutely praising us, and I'm not convinced we've thoroughly deserved that praise. Where do you sit with this?
So there were definitely positives to take from the game. I thought we played a lot better.
Hmm.
I think that we looked a better team with three at the back. I thought that going forward, again, Switzerland did what every other team has done to us, where they just parked men behind the ball. And it's really, really difficult to play through that. No matter who you are, who you're against, you stick 11 men behind the ball, and it's really tough. Especially the way England play, where we're trying to go through sort of central, as we did with Foden and Bellingham, and we had more success out on the wing because everybody's so far in the middle. I thought we worked really well with Saka and Trippier. Playing in those roles. It was quite nice to see Shaw come on because I think he did bring something a little bit different for us. But it was the same old frustrations where we were attacking, passing sideways, passing backwards. Like I think I counted 5 times where we had the ball in an attacking position and then it ended up with Pickford. Like the transition of that just has to stop. That's been such an English thing to do, and I think that just really bugs me. But overall, I think that it had to be that they scored for us to then go, shit, we actually need to score. So yes, finally, we do need to score. And then, I mean, Saka out of nowhere, who's pretty much played in every position except for goalkeeper.
Pretty
He
much.
absolutely nailed that goal. What a goal! And then we kind of, it all stiffens back up again, and then we're like, trying to break through them again and again and again, and it just didn't quite work for us. And actually, they looked like they were more likely to score on the attack than us. So it was a difficult one. I think we were better. I don't think we were anywhere near our potential best, but still, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the most exciting part was probably the last 5-10 minutes of it because it was end to end. But we did have a spell for about that from sort of 80 to 90 minutes where they couldn't get hold of the ball. So we were just constantly bombarding crosses into the box. But my problem is, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, is why is Harry Kane playing as a centre mid or a CDM?
He was a
His
lot.
average position.
He was a lot higher up in that game. He was a lot further forward.
Right, his average position was just in front of the centre circle. Foden, Bellingham, Saka, and someone else, I can't remember who it was all average positions were further ahead than Kane.
Kane
4 players. Kane is our striker. Why did he drop in deep? So many times we're whipping it into the box. He needs to be there and he's not there.
So
It's so frustrating now.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, because I do think he was a lot further forward than he was previously. The problem is that's what Harry Kane does, and Harry Kane is really struggling to stay up top. He wants to be like, right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to help the lads out. When it's like, no, you need to do that. And this is where, how do you solve a problem like Harry Kane? Because
Do you drop him,
or do you stick with him? You can't drop Harry Kane. You can't do it.
you've got to say to him, right, if you drop below X point, X amount of times in the first half, you're out. We'll sub you straight away. him coming off and having Tony up front genuinely helped us. Gave us such a better position with him coming off. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Harry Kane's a bad player at all. We know he's a world-class striker. And when he's in the box, he's going to get you goals. But he's not in the box and he's not getting goals. So England not getting goals because he's not in the fucking box. Just stay in the fucking box. It's not difficult. You're a striker. You scored this week. Well, last week, I should say, by the time this comes out. Why? Because you were near the box. If you're standing back in defence, you're not going to score, are you?
Yeah, but he's kind of in the middle of the pitch and he's pushing forward. I kind of get. I do feel a bit sympathetic towards him because even I was on his back, like get forward. Like when he crossed the ball in, I'm like, you're the one that needs to be on the end of it. Like Saka was getting a bit of stick for, you know, he put a couple of balls in and there's no one on the end of it, and it's almost like Saka's like, well, your crossing needs to be better, and it's like, no. The strikers need to be making, or the attacking players need to be making the runs into the box to try and bury those chances. So I do agree, but you cannot take Harry Kane out of that team because Harry Kane scores goals.
Yeah, I know. But if you're not scoring goals, all he's actually doing at the moment, genuinely, is harming our run of play and our fluidity of our play. Now, we're going to be against Netherlands on Wednesday night, and Netherlands play quite attacking full football. They'll pass, they'll move constantly. If Kane's not there, we're going to be screwed. It's as simple as that. We're going to be absolutely screwed. He needs to be at least in the final third.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think he needs to push further forward. I think he's doing a better job of that. And I think, and I hope, with a team like the Netherlands, they don't just sit. We saw it with Turkey. They don't just sit back. They are bombing forward. Turkey caught them out on the break in that first half. I mean,
yeah, they did. Yeah,
goal from Turkey. That was an unbelievable crossing header. But I think England can certainly benefit from that, and I think Harry Kane will benefit from that as well. It must be. Could you just imagine, right? You're in a tournament. You want to win this with England. No one can get the ball into you because you've got sort of 10 men just stood around you, and you're like, well, how are they going to get the ball into me? England are struggling to create chances, so naturally you're going to start drifting back to come and get the ball to then start being a little bit more involved. So I understand why it's happened.
Yeah.
But the problem is the opposition that we're playing. So Southgate played much better tactics, in my opinion, in this game, and that's why our performance was better. What do we do now to solve that issue? But we're playing against a completely different team. So I don't think it's fair to say we should drop Kane against the Dutch, because if we were to say, all right, okay, well, we should have dropped Kane for that game, for example, because we know that Switzerland are so well organised, and that's not saying that the Netherlands aren't, but the Swiss were just so well organised at the back. They had all the players behind the ball. Should we have thought, right, okay, maybe we need something different. Maybe we should drop Kane back into the number 10 position, or, you know, whatever. Maybe not play Mainu, play Bellingham in that position, then have Tony or Watkins up front. Something like that might have been a little bit more beneficial, because Tony or Watkins might have been a little bit more patient. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of chucking stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but I feel like I've just come on like bashing him. I don't mean it in that way. It's just frustrating because he is such a good player and we need him up front. Because Saka crossed an incredible ball that 99 times out of 100, if Kane's in the box, he's going to bury that in the bottom. It's going to go in the back of the net, no problem whatsoever. Game over. But he's not there. So yeah, as you said, you know, the Dutch will attack more. You know, they'll bomb forward, they'll throw men forward. So hopefully it opens up those little pocket of spaces that Foden, Bellingham, Saka, Kane can get into and actually cause some damage, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But we're through. I don't know whether we deserve it, but we're through.
I think if you look at the penalties, I mean, the way England scored five penalties out of 5, and they were all unbelievable. I mean, like, if you look at Palmer, who looked a bit nervous, first England penalty.
You reckon? I didn't think he did.
I thought he looked a little bit nervous and he buried it. Ivan Toney didn't even look at them. How do you score a goal and not look at the ball?
I'd say I'm glad you said that. I wanted to talk about this because can you imagine if you're the goalie and you're staring at him and he's just staring at you with a smirk on his face, looking so arrogantly cocky and confident. He's not once looked at the ball. And he said, "Yeah, I never do. It's like, it's just the way I do it, but it works." I'm
It
just
does
like,
as well.
yeah,
I've
fair play.
seen him doing it at Brentford, and he is exactly as you say. He's just there, and he's like, I'm just going to stare at you, and I'm going to hit the ball. And I heard somebody talking about it, and they were saying like that the goalkeeper just has to wait. He can't really guess because
Yeah.
there's no subtle sort of cues of like, oh, he's looking in that corner, right? Okay, he's looking in that corner too much. I actually think he might go in the other corner. Like there's none of that. He's just staring at you. He's like, right, well. All right, okay, and it gives him a bit of extra space because his penalty wasn't a brilliant penalty in terms of where he positioned it because actually, if the keeper had have like just gone right, I'm going to gamble and gone, he might have been able to get it, but he didn't because he couldn't because of the way he takes the penalty. It's absolutely unbelievable, and Saka to score as well. Oh mate,
Yeah. Do you know what annoyed me? And I understand the sort of script, I suppose, but what annoyed me is, the redemption is complete for Saka. I'm like, he has nothing to redeem himself about. This is what wound me up. And I get the story, and I totally understand that, but that's so unfair.
yeah.
He's been our best player in this tournament. I genuinely think he's been the best and the most consistent throughout the entire tournament. He's been incredible since the Euro final last time round for Arsenal. He's barely put a foot wrong. He didn't need to redeem himself from missing that penalty at all. But I do understand the script, and Sancho obviously put it on social as well. He's like, "Oh, you've done that for me, and Marcus, thanks, brother," or whatever it was. And it is nice, but there should be nothing about, "Oh, he's redeemed himself now." It's like, no, he redeemed himself by absolutely just being an incredible player.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing for Rashford and Sancho to redeem themselves for either. Even without the performances, what they did was those two went onto the pitch at a really difficult time, like minutes before penalties. Went on, didn't get to touch the ball, and then was expected to take penalty in the World Cup final. The Euros final. That was Southgate's poor management of the game, bringing those two on and doing that. I'm not going to say we would have won it had he not have done that at all because you can't predict the future. But I feel like if he'd have brought them on sort of 10 minutes before the end, that would have been a lot better. So, mate,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems that those three I've got a lot of sympathy for. But yeah, I mean, excellent penalties, and I thought Trent as well. He seems to have got a lot of stick. Which I don't really think is kind of his stick to take. But yeah, fair play for him to step up and score that fifth penalty.
Yeah, he did well. I think every penalty was a good pen. I enjoyed watching it, and I was just weirdly confident. I mean, so confident that I predicted that we would go through on penalties.
I've noticed that
Albeit,
all of a sudden, Ben, who rarely posts anything on our socials, is all of a sudden well on top of it. I'm surprised by that. Why is that, mate?
because I'm 19-15 up on the predictions for the Euros.
Can I just ask you a question? Because what normally happens when you do the scores on the Euros is you forget. If I get it right, you forget to give me the point. Are you sure you're adding them up right?
I'm very confident, yeah, but you feel free to check. But I'm very confident.
No.
Because
I
what
will
I've done
trust you.
is I've obviously where we've got our templates, I've moved the score across each time. So I know that all the scores are right up until that point. And I've just added it up as I go. So it should be right. But I got 3 correct out of 4.
Well done.
Banging. Banging.
Do you want to talk about the Spain-Germany game? Because that was a pretty tasty game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Last kick, basically, wasn't it?
Well, not quite. I think it was like they had 4 or 5 minutes. They had a bit of extra time added, a bit of stoppage time added on, because Germany could have scored 2 goals in that extra time as well. Like Toni Kroos, the last kick of professional football, and he could have whipped in a banger, and it didn't quite happen. I thought Germany were maybe the better team actually out of the two. I can see an argument there, but I felt like they were the better team and quite unlucky. But Spain have not put a foot wrong so far.
They haven't. But do you know what? I don't think, and this may be a little bit controversial to some, I don't think they're unbeatable because they leave themselves open a lot.
Yeah,
I think there's a chance.
They're not they're not the best, but they're certainly not. I mean, they probably are the best defensively and in attack, if we're being completely honest, because France have been abysmal. Portugal were probably the better team in that game as well, but lost on penalties. What I mean, can you? Why is Cristiano Ronaldo still playing up front?
Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo.
I
mean, he's banged in the
can
goals for fun,
but he hasn't. He hasn't scored a goal. I barely heard his name mentioned when he was playing against France.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of opportunities where Nuno Mendes just blasted it, and he should have just passed it to Ronaldo. Ronaldo was in so much space, and I think there was 3 different occasions where Mendes went for a shot or went for like a mad cross that just went out for almost a throw-in at one point. And Ronaldo's just standing there in like acres of space. If he's got the ball, he's pretty likely that's going to go in the back of the net because all you need is one chance. But if you're not getting the service, it's similar with the Kane situation. If you're not getting the service, you're not going to score. But Ronaldo's not tracking back into centre defensive mid, is he? He's still staying up there because if he's there, he's going to get the opportunity. But I mean, that game was a tight one. I mean, that run from Pepe to stop Marcus Thuram was just incredible. I mean, it was painful to watch because he was just so slow, but that positional awareness was perfect.
He's 41 I think what he's done, old, mate, and he's playing in. I know Euros.
He's your age. This is what you could be doing, man. But no, on a serious note, though, he's been incredible this tournament. He looks absolutely fucked. He really looked fucked, but he chased that back, and Marcus Thuram should have done a lot better. I don't know how he even let a tackle come in. He should have been miles ahead by then. Just keep tapping it, getting into the box. But he kept stopping, so it gives Pepe enough time to come back.
Yeah, it was a good game. It wasn't a good game. But France got through against Spain. We briefly spoke about the Dutch game. That was a pretty good game. Dutch done well to come back, and set up their semi-final. The football hasn't been too great in Euros, and I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on the Copa America at all.
I've caught bits of it. I saw Colombia are through now after a 5-0 hammering of Panama. And Brazil lost, haven't they?
Yeah, Brazil lost on penalties.
It's Uruguay.
Yeah, they weren't very good at all. Brazil, they were quite lucky to get through from the group stages. They didn't have very good performances. So you've got Argentina, Canada, and Colombia and Uruguay in the 2 semi-final games. So could be a Lionel Messi signing off with a World Cup followed by a Copa America. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, he'll probably win the Ballon d'Or anyway, won't he? So
does make perfectly, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't anyone vote Messi just for bants? Just to annoy Ronaldo?
That would fuck Ronaldo right off, wouldn't it?
Just make Ronaldo cry.
Really would jar him off. So, give us your predictions for the semi-finals then. Let everybody know so they can keep an eye on the scores, because I'm sure they're all as excited as you are.
Right, so I've got 2-1 Spain win against France, and I've gone for a 2-1 England win against Netherlands.
I think I said that Spain would win 1-0.
You did, correct.
And I think I said England would win on penalties against the Netherlands after
1-1 draw. Yeah.
And I've also predicted that England will then go into the final and beat Spain 1-0.
Oh, nice. So you've already predicted what the final's going to be. You know, just from our track record, it's going to be Netherlands-France final.
100%.
It's going to happen. You know it's going to happen.
Cool. Okay. Everything all right, though? You good? You feeling better now?
All good. All good. I'll try and get this all up and running, hopefully for Tuesday. If not, maybe get a new system in place. Let's see, shall we?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, all good. Right,
Anything
let's
else
sign
to add?
off. Nothing for me. What about you?
No, mate. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, mate. Bye-bye.